So we just went over systems, now we're gonna go over lists. A list is literally just a list of addresses. Now there's two different kinds of lists. There's a list of addresses and there's a skip traced list. Skip traced phone numbers and or email addresses. So that means that the addresses have phone numbers, which you do want if you are cold calling. So if you want to get a list, then you want to skip trace it to get the phone numbers. Now in the last segment you heard me mention that Deal Machine has skip tracing built in, so that'll save you a lot of money. I don't know how good it is, but it's better than nothing. Now if you get batch or PropStream, you're going to be spending anywhere from 10 to 20 cents per skip trace. Sounds cheap, but it does add up, especially if you're skip tracing in bulk. You know, your first 100 might be cheap, but then 1,000, next thing you know, for me, I have 900,000 skip traced records. So you can do the math on that and see how much I spent on those. So it does add up. And it is what it is. You need skip trace data to cold call. You can't just cold call addresses. You need phone numbers. Now we're going to talk about a few different ways to get the lists. So the first way is using Deal Machine. You drive for dollars, you get the list in there, and then you skip trace it there. The second way is pulling a list. So you're going into PropStream and or batch, and you're actually pulling the list from that. So you're putting filters on it. So for example, a filter would be absentee that has owned the house for 5 or more years and it has 20% equity and it's not listed on the market. Those would be example filters that you can do, and then you pull that list. Once you pull that list, then you have a list of just addresses. Now you need to skip trace it. So now you can use PropStream or batch to skip trace it, or you can use another skip tracer called Kind Skip Tracing. Kind Skip Tracing is great because it's cheap. It's 3 cents per skip trace. It's a lot more affordable than the other skip tracers, and it really helps to get that data affordably, but still good data. So you can get that list, download it into a Excel sheet, and then upload it into Kind Skip Tracing, and they will actually skip trace it for you, send you back the phone numbers. Usually it takes like maybe a few hours to a day to get you those phone numbers. Now you can do it inside PropStream and batch. It's a little bit more expensive. Is the data better? Sometimes, sometimes not. You know, it is what it is. All data is data at the end of the day. You can skip trace it there. You could put it into Kind. Now one bonus thing to get a list is you can actually reach out to Kind Skip Tracing and they'll pull the list for you. That's a pretty good tool. That's actually what I do nowadays. I don't even pull lists on PropStream or batch. I just reach out to Kind. I say, hey, I want an absentee list. Absentee means the owner is absentee of the house. They don't live there. I want an absentee house of tired landlords in Florida, Miami market that have owned the house for 5 or more years. And then they'll send me a list of that and then I pay for it. I do have an affiliate for Kind. I think they have a discount on it. I forget, but if you want to use that affiliate, definitely appreciate that too. It's definitely worth it for you as well. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. So that's pulling lists. If any of these don't make sense, reach out. You know, we can go more in depth. This is just a quick overview of how wholesaling works because it's overwhelming, but that's how pulling a list works. That's how getting lists, and that's how skip tracing works.